This shit's out of my control. I'm just going with the flow. I won't act like I know what it's like. Oh, I can't come to conclusion. It only ends with confusion. I'm okay if I never know what it's like. Oh, what it's like to you. What it's like to you. What it's like to you. Had a lot of friends that came and switch up. That's why I never pick up. My life been full of hiccups. I never felt to get up. I meditate and find peace. Sometimes I wanna stay just to let the answers find me. I know that I ain't perfect. You ain't gotta remind me. What is time anyways? I don't need a timepiece. I don't need a rollie. You don't really know me. I'm trying to control my subconscious to control me. Thinking about life, that shit fucking with me slowly. Blocking bad vibes, I be feeling like a goalie. Trying to figure out, cause nobody ever told me. Universe be talking, I listen to it closely. It's way more than smoking with my niggas, I just need a bigger picture. Once you stop looking for answers, that's when shit about to hit you. Once you start being yourself, that's when nobody never get you. Know that you are not alone, you got somebody rocking with you. Hit the hills and feel the breeze and know it's okay not to know. I've been living in the moment, when I die, where do I go? Trying not to think about the things that I cannot control. Life gon' pass you by fast, try your best to take it slow. This shit's out of my control. I'm just going with the flow. I won't act like I know what it's like. Oh, I can't come to conclusion. It only ends with confusion. I'm okay if I never know what it's like. Oh, what it's like to you. 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 Peace, 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 and blessings. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. It is a Wisdom Wednesdays, a very special, tragic show, but I think it's an important show for us to have. So, thank you for being in the building. Thank you for being here, Faith. Thank you. So, it took me a little debating on if I was going to actually have a show tonight about the subject matter, and in general, it's a very painful subject, I'm sure, for many people. And you don't have to be necessarily from Texas. I'm sure that those families are hurting worse than anyone. But to feel this pain, because this is a pain that I think we feel all in our spirit right now. So I wanted to do a show tonight just to reflect and give us a safe space to speak about how we're feeling. To also reflect on, how we can better be of service within our communities, and how we can also, in these times, in these trying times, protect the inner peace that we fight so strongly for every day. And it is so many things going on right now. But this event, this tragic event, thank you guys for being in the building. This tragic event was not something I'm sure any of us were prepared to see on our TV screens. I don't watch television, so I saw it in the Facebook feeds first. And I saw it after I started the promo for the Tarot Tuesdays, and I just knew there was no doing Tarot Tuesdays because my babies were here, and I had to really think about people who have elementary school children and how they're feeling right now. I don't know if you guys have any kids at that age, but to just think about someone going into a school, and I know that it's been the talk, it's been all over the news,
But I just know that, like, we all kinda need a safe space sometimes to be able to express how these things make us feel. And so that is what this platform is for. Thank you all for being here. And if you feel something or you wanna express something, or please feel free. This is a safe space for us to express. I know that the people that come in this building, we all are on a frequency of wanting to raise the vibration. And right now, this doesn't feel like it's raising the vibration of anything. It's making us feel down and sad. And I mean, I've been crying because I look at my girls. I have a daughter that is in first grade, going to second grade this year. These are babies. Like, these are babies. And of course, there's a lot of energy going on right now in this. I mean, just period. We just had the mother show. I was talking about that mothering energy, and think about that energy being here while these children are being slaughtered in a school. How do you think that feels to mothers? Yeah, me too. I read it on Facebook. It's I stopped watching TV a while ago. It was a lot of stuff that was starting to get to my spirit. And I don't want to avoid things, but I know how much I can take in as an empath, as a person who is spiritually easily connected to things and events outside of myself. I have to protect that inner peace. And sometimes when we see things like this, these tragedies that happen, there's no way to disconnect from that, especially when you're like, I mean, I have a little, like I said, I have children, I have three daughters, you know, and I'm sure you guys have kids or grandkids and, nieces and nephews around these ages. And, you know, we already have all these other things going on with these diseases. And now we have to worry about them going into elementary schools. It's not like it hasn't happened before. But my question is, what are we going to do? Or what do we do? Peace and blessings. What can we say? What can we do? What is going to change this? And I'm going to tell you, spiritually, we know this is spiritual warfare. I mean, anybody who is tapped in right now knows that this is spiritual warfare on the babies. The closest thing to the mother is her child. The closest thing to a father is his child. These are extensions of us. And someone walked into a building where these babies were supposed to be safe and decided that they would not be safe that day. I don't want to dwell too much on the facts because we know what the facts are, but spiritually, this hurt. Right after doing that show about the mother and how that energy is here, I felt that. Peace and blessings. Thank you for being here. I felt it on so many levels. Everything that I felt was going on personally didn't really matter when I looked at the numbers of babies. My sister is a mental health, I want to say, guru. I'm going to have her here. Peace and blessings. Thank you for being here. I'm going to have her come and talk to us because this is definitely affecting us. I know it affects me. And I'm one of those people who try to block out things because I understand that some stuff is supposed to affect us because energetically there are things that feed off of negative energy. But when you start attacking the babies, how can the mamas, how can the papas, how can anybody who cares about babies not be affected? Okay. I do need to cleanse this space. I have cleansed the space earlier. I actually took the whole day to cleanse this space because it's been heavy. It's been heavy. Looking at my babies at all different stages that they're in, one almost 18, one in elementary school, and one that's not even in school yet. And looking at them and seeing that these are babies that didn't get to grow into these different stages because their lives was taken. What what are we doing? Jackie says straight up, this nation is going to have to start touching these politicians. They're so insulated in their privilege that since it doesn't directly affect them, it doesn't matter. And that is a problem. That is a problem on every level of anything that happens, is that we can't, as a majority, stand behind anything because if it doesn't affect us directly, we don't care. What happened to us? Have we become so engulfed in our phones, in social media, in bullshit, that we allowing them to slaughter our babies? There are no codes. There's no people walking, slaughtering babies. I know that there was a time that nobody would walk if you did anything to women or children, and now that doesn't even account for anything anymore. We have to protect some type of moral grounds. There has to be protection for our babies when they go to school. My babies are homeschooled, but that doesn't mean that everybody else's babies who go to school shouldn't be protected. And I homeschool my babies because I don't trust the world. I don't trust them to get what they need out there. But do we want to walk around not trusting this system that we're living in right now? Or do we want to start changing it somehow, some way? Talk to me, people. Babies. I just talked to people, just had a conversation about protecting women recently because there's so much going on and everybody should be protected, but let's be honest. We're not protecting the ladies, we're not protecting the babies. Where's the code? Where's the ethics? Where's the protection? What's going on? The schools, how many school shootings do we have to have until something changes? Nothing changes. We get excited about it, we talk about it, and then it goes away, and then another one happens. And that energy, the energy that we put into this, the draining energy of feeling all of this, where does that go? Who benefits from that? Babies. And grown-ups too. Let's not forget the teachers, the women, the two women, the two teachers who lost their lives as well. I mean, we don't want to live in lockdown, but what are we going to do about it? And when these incidents happen, what are we doing to protect the inner peace? Because I'm going to tell you, just here rock me to my core. We doing this with babies again, because this is not the first time. But babies, not that anybody should be slaughtered. Let's get that clear. Nobody, nothing should be happening to anyone. But we run it up in schools. On a spiritual level, this is warfare. When you slaughter innocent blood on the soil, this is warfare on a spiritual level. There are sacrifices being made. I told myself I was not going to get too deep into all of that because some people can't understand it yet. And I'm trying to my best when I put information out, put it out in a manner that my at least middle child can listen to it and digest it and not. I don't want anybody to be repulsed by it, but understand that spiritual warfare is real. Energy vampires are real. Yeah. Yes. Children and elders. And what get it the amount of care, amount of attention that we give to incidents. And I'm not saying to put all your thoughts and stuff into it. What I'm saying is we get upset about it, but then nothing comes from it and we don't get upset about that. We don't make any moves towards, okay, what's going to come from this? It's always we're upset and then nothing changes. Is it gun laws? Is it safer schools? Is it what is it? I'm not saying what it is. What I'm saying is we're not what are we doing? Are we having think groups? Are we having like what are we doing? Because just because it's not in your community today doesn't mean it won't be. This is again spiritual warfare. This is attack. When you attack the innocent, when you attack babies in their most vulnerable state, they're in their learning environment, their guards, it ain't nobody up in there. Come on now. Though we've seen this happening quite a few times that it makes, I mean, we're now having drills about this. We're having drills in school to teach our children how to duck off when people come into the schools. And I'm just trying to figure out when do we get here and how do we turn around? I'm a big time mama bear. I'm a single mother. So yeah, I'm gonna speak from that perspective. I'm not good with this shit at all. Women, ladies, mothers, sisters, aunties, cousins, grandmas, great aunts, great grandmas, bloodlines. It's time. Understand that there's a part of this grand awakening. And thank you all for being here. Please like and share this post so that people can come in and share their opinions of what's going on. If you guys want to share what your thoughts are, this is a think tank. So please, share this with your friends, family. This is a think tank. We need to be thinking about what we need to be doing. We need to do more thinking and then making moves because I'm all about us coming together. But we need to not just come together and feel in order to heal. We got to make improvements because it's just going to continue to happen. Gun laws need to change, period. I'm a gun owner and pray that I never have to use it, but they're loosening the laws instead of straightening them. Indeed, I agree. But I also see it as we have so many guns out there as well that are in the streets. How do we get them off of the streets? Like, if you do change the laws, people already have the guns. What do we do then? And that's on the practical scale. On the spiritual scale, we have to have serious conversations with our babies now. I had to have a serious conversation with my baby because she wanted to know what my show was going to be about today. She always asks me what my show's about. And I never lied to my babies. Like, I tell them stuff because I'm honest. Again, I'm a single mother. I got to be the mama and the daddy. Sometimes I got to sit down and have those hard conversations. And today was a hard conversation. And on a spiritual level, I had to explain to my daughter that these babies, this energy it's not gone. Energy never dies. But I also had to explain to her that their parents will not physically see them again. And that the family members who expected to see them won't see them again. And how do you explain that to a 6-year-old? And why do you want to? But it's because not only do I think about my child who's homeschooled, but her friends go to school. And what if one day it's their school or it's someone she knows? And we're not having these conversations. So now it's a shock to her because it continues to happen. We can't pretend. We can't put our hands over our eyes and act like it's not happening. It's happening. For so many different reasons, it's happening. This is the year of chaos. There's going to be a lot of things happening. There's a lot of interpretations of this later on we will discuss. But right now is a sensitive time. It's not even time to discuss what on so many levels is happening. You just have to look. Right now is a time for healing. Right now is a time for grieving. Right now is a time for talking and speaking on what it is that we really need to do to protect our children. Listen, we're not just protecting our children from, we have so many things we have to protect our children from day in to day out. We have to protect them from predators, sexual predators. We have to protect them from abusive relationships when they're young and they start dating. We have to protect them from the world tainting their minds about themselves, telling them they're not good enough because they don't look like a filter on Instagram. Now we got to protect them physically from being shot when they go to school by some random, always some random. We always want to, as spiritual beings, say, leave it into the hands of Allah, Allah, divine, God, Jesus, whoever you call upon that name to be your higher self, leave it. But the power, the energy, the divine energy flows through you. And there are certain things we just can't sit still on and just say, I'm going to just leave it until someone else is slaughtered. Because if it comes in your mind as an idea, it already came from divine. Move. Divine uses us as its hands sometimes. I'm not saying go out here and start. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we got to change things. We got to make moves. We can't just sit still on our hands and just think, oh, praying for the families is all we can do. No. These babies deserve more than just prayers. We need to speak up for these children that are getting slaughtered in their schools. For these teachers who are going and trying to teach our children that are being killed. This is not the first time. Peace. This ain't the first time. And we want it to be the last, but it won't be until we make some type of changes. I'm talking about this on two different levels right now because I teeter and I totter back between what's going on this physical realm and how it's affecting us on a spiritual realm because we really got to protect that inner peace right now. Everything is coming for it. Disease, pain, loss, our own personal losses and journeys right now. Because understand, with that last Scorpio moon, there was a lot of death and rebirth. So a lot of people are going through their own personal journeys. And then there's this bigger thing that's happening. And you got to know collectively, we are connected. So the more that we think, if we think negative things will start to manifest. So we got to get out of that feeling. That's why I say you got to protect that inner peace. And it's hard to do. I understand when we're going through these kind of things. I get it. It's not always easy. But to maintain, if we want to, this is the way spiritually that we start to make an effect on what has happened physically. Is that we got to protect the peace so that it's not disturbed, because that's where your inner chi, your inner G comes from. That is under attack. That is a resource that man cannot make. So it has to take. And it comes from you. It comes from us when we have those adrenaline rushes, when our hearts start racing, when we feel nervous, when we're scared about every disease or every cold or every sniffle. If we started fearing everything, that's that energy. We push an inner chi, inner G that we're kicking out into the universe, into our, and then we wonder why these, and I'm not saying that we're manifesting, I'm saying that on a spiritual level, we are co-creating with whatever is trying to manifest these things by putting negative energy back into it. I had to take so many deep breaths today. I had to take so many deep breaths. I had to ring my bell to clear my energy because I can feel the thickness of grief. When you're an empath, you can feel other people's grief. You can feel other people's pain, and you don't even have to be near anyone. Especially when you're like me, who have an open force field, I can feel it just by, that's why it's hard. I don't watch the news. It's not because I'm above, knowing certain things that's going on. It's because I'm too easily impacted by other people's emotions. So when I felt this, I felt that inner chi being cracked at, that inner peace that I worked so hard to establish being cracked at. Because when you start messing with babies, come on, you talking to a mama and you messing with babies. How can I protect? How can I anything? How can I even think about myself to even try to protect myself? You understand? That's when our guards get down. That's when our immune system start to fail because we can't really think. It's not about self because it's really about everybody else right now. But in the midst of that, hold on. Don't crack because inside of you, there is something that if you open up, other things will enter. Meaning sorrow. You will carry this sorrow around with you. Instead of making changes, we will just carry the sorrow because we've cracked open that inner chi and we've released the energy out into whatever it was that was feeding off of it and needing it because it needed us. Listen, fear, that heart racing, you don't think that there's a different type of fear when you roll up in a school and you assault children because now there's a fear in the child, there's a fear in the mothers, there's a fear in the fathers, there's a fear in the teachers. So everybody is affected in the community. Everybody's affected from the littlest person to the biggest person is affected by this. So everybody is, and not everybody's in tune with this peace that we should be keeping within us. So a lot of us are easily giving away this chi, this energy that is we really need to protect for ourselves. Because that is what That's what's really protecting our immune systems and keeping us healthy and keeping us going. As soon as we crack open, as soon as we allow every single story in the news, and I'm not saying it's not going to crush your heart, believe me. The breathing exercises, the meditation, the yoga, the silence to myself today was all to protect that inner chi, that inner peace, because I felt it. I felt it for every person who lost someone. I felt it for them on such a big level. We know that this is not the first time, and we want it to be the last time. On a spiritual level, protect your energy, protect yourself, eat healthy. And I'm not saying this to be, this is channeled messages for you. That divine wants you to take care of yourself right now, because everything will break your immune system down, will break you down, and all of these other things that are going on. You have to understand there's diseases out here. There are diseases out here that can end your life if you're not protecting your inner self, if you're not protecting your energy. So you can be loving and caring and nurturing and compassionate and empathetic and apathetic, but you also have to make sure you breathe in and breathe out. And remember, the energy never dies. These babies, this energy that was sacrificed, that mother that I spoke to you about, that energy is with them. Believe me, you can believe what you want. You can have whatever spiritual and religious beliefs, but understand that there is a divine creator that keeps those innocent souls. So those babies are protected. Protect your children right now. Look after your babies right now. Protect their health right now. And when I say this again, protect their mental health, because they're seeing so much and they're feeling so much. And I don't know if we're having these conversations with them. I'm having these conversations. Living, just living in these times right now, you have to protect your energy. Just living day to day, going outside. I hope that you're protecting yourself. I hope that if you don't, and I don't, you don't have to have crystals. You don't have to have, the evil eye protection around you. You don't have. Are you saying things to yourself? Are you putting protection over yourself? Are you speaking life into yourself every day? Because believe me, there are so many things speaking death into our lives, left and right. They don't even know us, they're just speaking it. So you have to be speaking life onto your own life right now. You have to be reaffirming your desires to be here, and also reaffirming that you are protected, because you are. But right now, we need to be calling on our ancestors and calling on whoever it is that you believe in, because I believe my ancestors protect me, my divine higher, because I am connected to the higher divine, is protecting me. But I know that they only step in when I ask for them, like a parent, right? Your parent gonna be like, all right, you got this. Like me, my girls be out there, they be beefing. I'd be like, they got it. Until my big one come in and be like, look, Nina's acting crazy. Then I got it. But you gotta let them do what they do. And that's what your spirits will do. That's what your spirit guides will do. That's what your spirit team will do. But call on them right now. Make sure that everything that you touch, everything that comes from you, everything within your area is protected. Ask for it. Speak it. I speak protection upon everyone that I know and don't know. I ask that all of you guys are protected and my family is protected. But I have to ask from my ancestors for a certain type of protection as I ask that you do the same. If not your ancestors, whoever it is that you call on, ask for their protection at this time. And I'm not saying it to make you scared. There's no need to be scared. When we ask for protection, we should be asking for protection on a regular basis. The world itself is a threat. Every day you walk out, someone is feeling something and probably projecting it onto you. So you must be protected. When we watch TV, when we see social media, when we need to be protected. I don't put those little evil eye on my wall for me to just be, putting up something cute. When I post stuff, y'all, most of the time when I'm posting, like 90% of the time, I'm sending messages subliminally to you. I can't get on a podcast all the time, but every time that I step out and I speak, I am trying to speak a message to you. Protect yourselves. This is spiritual warfare. Protect these babies. Protect these women who bore these babies, and protect yourselves, men and women. Protect our children. And when I say this, I'm talking about we got so many levels. We're not just talking about this one incident, which is terrible, horrible. I'm not just talking about this incident. I'm talking about protect them from our cousins and family members. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that tonight, right? Protect our children. This is a time where innocent souls are hot commodity right now. That energy, I know we busy. Life gets busy. We got a lot going on. I know. I got 3. I'm single. I'm doing this by myself. I get it. But I got to keep my eye on them. This world wants them badly. By any means necessary. Through any means necessary. Because when you let them out the house and they go around their friends, that's a whole nother energy. Then, and these influences, our children are being attacked left and right. I'm not even today going to talk about all the virtual reality that we all are being attacked by, that all of this sucking us into a whole nother dimension thing, that if we don't say no to something, we'll just be doing everything. But right now, what are we doing in these schools? What has been the talk of what is going to happen in the schools? All I've seen on my Facebook was from my personal county police officers who say that they're going to be at the schools more often, not because there's any type of a threat, but just to make people feel more comfortable. And that's what I've seen. But when that dies down, what do we do? There's a deeper issue going on, a deep, and I think I would be doing disjustice to all of this, not to mention that there's a lot of other factors in play when we start looking at these shootings and where they're happening, how they're happening, and who's the shooter. We got to start looking at the bigger picture. It's like we want to heal the symptoms, but not the actual root of the problem. So we'll continue because we just keep feeding the cold. It's my suggestion to pull all your children out and homeschool them down. That has always been my suggestion. But I know that there's great teachers out here. But do we want our teachers being security guards? Like, There's so many questions. I know y'all don't have the privilege to do that because it takes a lot to pull your kids out and homeschool them. But there's also this fear that they keep pushing with all of the, again, the diseases that's out here now, and our children going to school and they interacting and us worrying about that. And now we're dealing with this, and it's just one thing after another. And you wonder why people's immune systems are low and why there's so much depression. And I'm sure if we look at the suicide rate since the COVID incidents, I don't know, it may just be swept in with COVID, the number of deaths, but I'm sure that there's a higher suicide rate because there's so much going on. And where's all of the talk about the mental health of the people who are not, not just the mental health of the person who committed the crime, but the people that are after, we are exposed to this on the news on a regular basis, these families, everybody, but the mental health of our nation, of our country, of the United States, of the world, because everybody's watching and feeling. And if y'all don't know how powerful feelings are, we put so much energy out. It's like such a serious topic that I hate that I always have to go to movies to kind of express it. But again, I want this in layman's terms. Monsters Inc. We've all seen it, right? I know I've seen it a million times because I have kids, right? Monsters Inc. The monsters fed off of the fear of the child, right in your face. Just the fear, putting it into a little joint, and the innocence and the fear of the innocence, because it was more powerful. It was the power behind it. Delana says it's like we are sleepwalking or living in a delusion. Excuse me, y'all. When it comes to being honest on who we really are and how we deal with our mental state. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you, Delana. The mental health of our country, of us as a whole is crazy because honestly, since people were on lockdown, I started wondering when are we gonna start having seeing like little mental health clinics popping up and stop stigmatizing it so much because it's necessary. Right now, think about all of the triggers and all of the issues. Do you know how much uh, what was it? Abuse. I want to say like spousal abuse went up during COVID, but people are stuck in the house with people they could normally sometimes leave out. Like there was so much that was hidden and swept under the rug because we were forced to stay in. A lot of people didn't even want to go to the doctor. So a lot of people may have caught diseases and there's so much going on. And we don't talk about none of it. We just keep moving like everything is normal. And we'll do the same thing with these babies. We'll grieve for a few days. That energy will be sucked right out of us. Like I was saying, like the Monsters Inc. They'll just take that little energy and fuel whatever that next little disaster they're gonna. Because wow, this is going. There's so much. No, I want to suggest that if you are not conscious of the way that things play out, there's so many teachers out there right now talking about it, and I just don't think that my platform is the place for it to get so deep into it. And I have to catch myself sometimes, but then there's numbers at play. There's energies at play right now. This is spiritual warfare. So on top of the physical, of there's two things at play. That's why I'm bouncing back and forth. We got to protect, yes, our mental health, our physical being, but spiritually, we are being attacked. And we have to stay at peace there as well. And how do we do that? We have to dig into ourselves, really dig in our beings and how we deal with others. Microwave culture isn't working. Oh, yes, yes. And I will agree. I've said this, that microwave, quick. There's so much about what happened that makes me want to just say the world, you know? It just makes you want to do like this, right? But then there's so much about what happened that made me be like, I can't. Because look at these babies, my babies. And it's going to be more babies. We got to do something about this. Instead of being so angry that we just want to say, fuck it all, we got to do something about this. Mothers, sisters, cousins, as I was saying earlier, and I got hit me again in my stomach. Ladies, when two or more are in agreement, we are the oracles of the old times. We are the soothsayers, the ones that they used to come to it for advice. The wise women, the women who are no longer menstruating, the wiser women, those were the women that we used to go to. This is the times that this is being activated in you. And I'm asking you, ladies, to get with another sister in these times and start to come together and push in on that new energy that's coming in, and pray for our brothers' strength, because they're going to be the ones at physical battle right now. Men, and we need them as our protection right now, because these wombs need to be protected. If y'all don't understand that these are the portals that bring in the life, and the life itself is being threatened. So if you don't think that the next step is to threaten the life that brings in the life, when you've already taken out 2 of the teachers and then 19 babies, this is just part of it. It's not the whole. This is just the beginning. So we need to start again protecting ourselves spiritually, emotionally. When we take in all of this stuff, when you come home, what are you doing? Are you cleansing yourself? Because I cleanse myself when I leave this outside world. I am trying my best to make sure that I don't go out here in this world wearing too much black anymore. Because that absorbs a lot of energy. I am empathic. I don't know if you are, but we all can pull other people's energy if we're around them. Protect yourself in these times. Where our thoughts go, where our intention goes, where our energy goes, is where things start to manifest. So if we start thinking negatively, if we start grieving for so long, and I'm not saying forget about, no, I'm saying make moves. Move through the stages of grief and then move towards making moves to make things better. Because too much grief just breeds more grief. You understand? It's going to breed more to grieve about. I could not imagine what any of those. I mean, I physically put myself in my mind, in my meditations, and I had to feel those parents' pain, but I still could not, because just thinking about that, just the thought tears me apart. The thoughts that, and I know it's not real. The thought and knowing it's not real is not the same as knowing that that happened to you. You know? So yes, pray. Pray for these families. Send energy of healing, of strength, because they're going to need strength. strength, and clarity. And I say this because I sat with someone as they passed away or as they were in the stages of dying. And I can promise you that the what gave me the most comfort was the actual knowing how life really works and that this ain't it. This ain't the end. It's not the, you know, like I gave it to them like, you are energy, right? You know that you will transition, but this won't be it. And like being real with people and understanding that, because I don't think we've ever really been taught about the fact that energy never ever really dies. So there is no like stopping point for it. It doesn't stop existing. I have been, when I was out meditating recently, I took a book. There is a book, thank you. There is a book that I've been reading called Journey of Souls, right? Journey of the Souls. It's crazy because I've been reading it since my mom passed. And it's comforting to me to know or have a certain knowing that I resonate with. It may not be the same knowing for you. If that doesn't give you comfort, whatever it is that gives you comfort. But for me, it was the knowing that once that energy separated from its physical form, it was the only thing that kept it wanting to stay attached was the grief of the people around it. The energy being able to see the people around them grieving and wanting to comfort them. But that energy also wanted to move towards the energy that it was feeling when it separated, and the energy it was feeling was comfort of you're going to be okay, and there's more beauty to this, because again, energy never dies. So where does it go? These are the conversations that give comfort when people are going through things. And I'm not saying these are immediate conversations you're going to have when someone passes on, but I'm saying that really understanding that the soul is so much bigger than the body will give you so much more comfort when you see things like this happening, because they're going to continue to happen. They will. Unfortunately, they will. We shift the energy when we shift our thoughts. And that's why I'm asking. And I asked of the women first, because the women right now are being called upon by the Divine Mother, because the women used to gather before. That's how it worked. It was the energy of the mother who gave birth, who brought these souls in. Every mother who gave birth felt that pain when they saw that number of 19 children losing their lives. And even if you're not a mother who gave birth, if you're an auntie who close to your nieces and they feel like your children, you know what I'm talking about. We have to transmute that energy that we feel right then and there. We need to get together. And that is when you start to see shit shift. You are powerful beyond what you know, but you have to use the energy like they use the energy, not in a negative way, in a way that you see, oh my God, all this grief. I need to transmute it. I need to be the alchemist. I need to alchemize this energy. Because if I don't, what is going to happen? More sorrow will manifest, because this what you sit and dwell in continues. So if we continue to see this on all our screens, I digested it. I've seen it. I'm not clicking on nothing else about it, because I don't, unless, somebody tells me, I'm not going to be like, don't talk to me about it. None of that. No, but I'm not welcoming sadness anymore. I am sad. I'm going to grieve, and then I'm going to transmute this energy. Why? Because it's necessary. This is my offering to those souls. It's not to sit in the grief, but transmute it and do something with it. If that means that you become a grief counselor for somebody who can't carry it, do that. If that means you have to go to the school and be one of those, guards temporarily for now, do that. Whatever it is that makes you feel like you're doing something with the energy besides sitting in the grief, please do that. I had to walk today, stand in the clouds because there wasn't a lot of sun. Transmute it, change it, alchemize it, but use it, because that energy is out there. It's not going to go. It's grief. You're going to feel it. When it doesn't, we're connected. That's why we all feel it. If we were not connected, if somebody else hurt like if you bump your toe and you in another room, I don't know nothing about it. But when I see, like, if my daughter come in and be like, my toe hurt, I be like, oh, that's, you feel it too, don't you? If I come in and say I hit my ankle or something, you feel that tingle, don't you? Because we connected. We are connected. So your grief is my grief. But I have to help you by transmuting that energy, by alchemizing that energy, by changing it over to something constructive. That's the least I can do. Love your babies. Love upon them. Kiss upon them. And if it's a new habit, make it a new habit every night. Don't let this be the beginning and let it be the end in 2 days. It's going to be a hot summer. There's a many reasons that things are going to happen. Again, a lot of mental health issues. A lot of people been locked down, and a lot of things have never been resolved within people. And there's a lot of reasons things are going to happen. Protect your inner peace. Protect your family. Call upon your divine. Call upon your ancestors. But know that you're protected. You have to know it. Once you ask for the protection, you have to believe that you are protected. Have faith in your ancestors, in yourself, in the fact that divine is listening to you when you call out. Please pray for these families. Send them all the energy that you may have in your little heart tonight, because I'm going to do that. But also think of ways that we can help our communities, because it's going to, I don't want to even say that, but I feel the energy that things are happening so that we can not necessarily react. That's what's been happening, is that we've been reacting. It's so that we can change. Like, how many times do we say how many times? How many times? How many times? Before we get tired of saying how many times? Every baby deserves a chance to grow and thrive and become what they were divinely called to be. On a physical realm, this don't make no damn sense. But as I told you, we are under spiritual warfare. There's going to be a lot of things that happen that don't make sense. Protect your inner peace. That is my message for you guys tonight. Again, I'm sending all the love to those families and to anyone else who's lost anyone over this last couple of years. It's been hard. Losing people, we know it's a part of life, on the physical plane. We know we lose people on the physical. But please be reminded that energy never dies. Please be reminded that divine has a plan. Please be reminded that the universe is always working in your favor, no matter what is going on, even in these times. Even in these times. Delana says we need preventative work. We are always reacting. By the time we respond, we are behind. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what gets me is that, again, we back to the how many times. How many times do we have to go through this in order to realize that there needs to be more of a plan than just planning on ducking down. We got to figure out some shit. You should not be able to go up into school and, yeah. Pray for the babies. Send love to those families. Love up on your babies every day, every day, every day. And let them love up on you. It's all necessary right now. It's all a part of this bigger thing that's going on. So just please protect your peace. I'm going out with my spiritual Tony. What is life to you? What is life? Again, love up on them. Have a good evening. Know that the universe is always working in your favor no matter what is going on. This is Pronoia Starseed Podcast. Thank you again for this Wisdom Wednesdays. And I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night.
This is out of my control. I'm just going with the flow. I won't act like I know what it like, what it's like. Oh, I can come to conclusion. It only ends with confusion. I'm okay if I never know what it's like, what it's like. Oh, what it's like to you. What it's like to you. What it's like to you, to you. Had a lot of friends that came and switch up. That's why I never pick up. My life been full of hiccups. I never felt to get up. I meditate and find peace. Sometimes I wanna stay just to let the answers find me. I know that I ain't perfect. You ain't gotta remind me. What is time anyways? I don't need a timepiece. I don't need a rollie. You don't really know me. I'm trying to control my subconscious to control me. Thinking about life, that shit fucking with me slowly. Blocking bad vibes, I be feeling like a goalie. Trying to figure out, cause nobody ever told me. Universe be talking, I listen to it closely. It's way more than smoking with my niggas, I just need a bigger picture. Once you stop looking for answers, that's when shit about to hit you. Once you start being yourself, that's when nobody never get you. Know that you are not alone, you got somebody rocking with you. Hit the hills and feel the breeze and know it's okay not to know. I've been living in the moment, when I die, where do I go? Trying not to think about the things that I cannot control. Life gon' pass you by fast, try your best to take it slow. This is out of my control. I'm just going with the flow. I won't act like I know what it's like, what it's like. Oh, I can come to conclusion. It only ends with confusion. I'm okay if I never know what it's like, what it's like. Oh, what it's like to you. What it's like to you. What it's like to you, to you. What it's like to you. What it's like to you. What it's like to you, to you.
Peace and blessings, sis. Yes, I feel you so much. I feel you. Thank you for being in the building too. Yes, yes, we need prayer indeed. Thank you guys for tapping in. I thank you again for being here tonight. Y'all have a blessed evening. And again, love up on your babies. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Thankful Thursdays. All right, y'all. Have a good evening. Bye bye.